Hi everyone, it's Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. We would like to take a moment and thank all our Patreon supporters whose help makes this project possible. Thank you guys, your support is very much appreciated. If you would like to support us, the link to our Patreon page is in the description to this episode. You can also send us a one-time tip via PayPal. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 405 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the US announced the allocation of another military aid package for Ukraine worth $2.6 billion, reports European Pravda. The package consists of two parts. The first, worth $2.1 billion, is funded by the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, under which weapons are ordered from manufacturers rather than taken from the stockpiles of the US Armed Forces. These funds will finance additional ammunition for NASAM's air defense systems, 9 30mm anti-drone guns, 10 laser-guided mobile missile systems, 3 air surveillance radar stations, anti-aircraft and artillery munitions, rockets for Grad systems, multiple launch rocket systems and ammunition for them, as well as tank ammunition. Also provided are Javelin anti-tank systems, high-precision aviation munitions, approximately 3,600 small arms and more than 23 million rounds of ammunition for them, 7 tactical vehicles for the evacuation of equipment, 8 heavy fuel tankers and 105 fuel trailers, armored bridge systems, 4 logistic vehicles, trucks and 10 trailers for the transportation of heavy equipment, means of secure communication including satellite, as well as training and funds for the maintenance of the mentioned equipment. The remaining $500 million, which is primarily for munitions, will be spent on equipment from the US Army stockpile. With this package, Ukraine will receive additional ammunition for Patriot anti-aircraft missile systems and HIMARS systems, artillery shells, mortar bombs, tank ammunition, heavy TOW anti-tank guided missiles, approximately 400 grenade launchers and 200,000 rounds for them. In addition, this money will fund 11 tactical equipment evacuation vehicles, 61 heavy fuel tankers, 10 heavy equipment trucks and 10 trailers, vehicle maintenance and repair support equipment, as well as spare parts and other field equipment. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky thanked President Biden, Congress and every American for the support. Ukrainian crews will soon start training with American M1A1 Abrams main battle tanks, reports European Pravda. According to the CNN source, among high-ranking US defense officials, the Pentagon is still working on purchasing equipment needed for training. The Biden administration announced its intention to send tanks to Ukraine in January. Initially, the United States planned to send Ukraine 31 newer M1A2 Abrams tanks, which could take a year or two to produce and deliver. But in the end of March, Washington decided that Ukraine will receive an older version of Abrams. This is going to speed up their delivery to the Ukrainian military. Romania decided to allocate funds to strengthen the defense capabilities of Ukraine and Moldova, reports Deutsche Welle. In particular, Ukraine will receive more than $800,000 and Moldova $750,000. Funds will be allocated via NATO. A meeting of the Ukraine-NATO Commission took place in Brussels yesterday. The agenda was the support of Ukraine and its opposition to Russian aggression, as well as approaching membership in the alliance, reports Interfax Ukraine. This is the first meeting since 2017 when Hungary consistently blocked the Commission at a level higher than the level of the ambassadors. Opening the meeting, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg assured that the allies will continue to provide support to Ukraine and its people for as long as it takes. Stoltenberg stated that NATO allies are already providing significant support, but more is urgently needed. We need to deliver on our pledges of training and new heavy weaponry and continue to ramp up production of weapons and ammunition, the Secretary General said. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba has said that his main message at the meeting was that the Alliance Summit in Vilnius this year was an opportunity to correct the mistakes of the 2008 Bucharest Summit, when Ukraine was denied a prospect of joining NATO. NATO foreign ministers formally supported the development of a multi-year assistance program for Ukraine to help it move closer to NATO, reports Ukrainska Pravda. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg stressed that members of NATO remain committed to alliance's open-door policy. Earlier media reported that the program would include support for Ukraine even after the war with Russia ends. Stoltenberg is also asking member states to allocate 500 million euros a year for the comprehensive assistance package for Ukraine, which provides non-lethal assistance supplies to Ukraine. Spokesman for the Ukrainian Air Force Yuri Ignat called on the media not to present the transfer of Slovak and Polish MiG aircraft to Ukraine as victorious, reports ICTV. According to him, the transfer of Polish and Slovak MiG-29s aircraft will slightly improve the capacities of the Air Force's fighter aircraft for the implementation of the current combat tasks, but it in no case resolves the issues of the counteroffensive or victory. Ignat stressed that Ukraine needs modern multi-role aircraft with a wide range of weapons in order to gain an edge in the sky and win. 6 civilians were killed and 7 more were wounded in the Russian shelling of Donetsk Oblast, reports Glavred. Residential neighborhoods of several cities were targeted. A mine dispatcher and a nurse were killed in Toretsk, a saleswoman in Krasnohorivka, and 3 residents in the village of Lastochkine in Pokrovsk district, central part of Donetsk region. 7 civilians sustained injuries during the attack on the towns of Bakhmut and Hirnik and the village of Ocheretine. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.